Good morning and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the Badass Buddha, also known as Dr. Lori Monaco with Align Yourself Inc. I am coming from a rainy Southern Connecticut, and I am the co-host of Viva Cafe con Leche. I am a chiropractic physician, an authenticity teacher, speaker, and coach. I'm a fat eviction specialist. And I'm also a soon-to-be author. I'm getting ready to write a compilation book along with 14 other fabulous female authors, and maybe you can be one of them if you would like. And welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. And I'd like to introduce our sub co-host today because Miss Gladiator Guru is on her way as we speak, flying to Texas with our other, this is so hard for me to say that word, Reina. It's the R and the E. It's so hard for this white girl to do. So anyway, she's flying with our other friend and queen, Lillian. And the trifecta here is that Margarita and Francia and Lillian are the three individuals for Augusto Tu Corona. So they're flying out to Texas to do some business, and beautiful Francia is subbing today. So we're very happy to have you here today, Francia.
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. Let me quickly, am I getting the echo because of the phone?
So listen, let me tell you something. So Francia knew she was subbing today. She made sure she was ready to go because she's that person. She did her workout right before we got on. And as I'm like, she got on before me. So as I'm like on, and then all of a sudden I see her in the back and she's like, and I'm like, did you just work out? And she's like, yeah, if I don't do it now, it doesn't get done. And I get that, because that is absolutely true. It's like you get so caught up in everything else. But what a trooper that you're like, oh, I'm going to get the workout in and I'm going to do the show. So if she's all hot looking and sweaty, that's what she's always hot looking, you know, but if she looks hot and sweaty, it's not because she's nervous, and it's not because like I'm doing that to her, because although I don't know, but it's because she worked out. So good for you. And good morning as everybody's coming on. So
good morning.
Francia is also the individual who created our opening for the Viva show. And she's done a few marketing things for us. So quickly, go ahead, Francia, and talk about your company now, because you really do a fabulous job with what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So yes, I'm so sorry. I am Francia Elena Rodriguez Reina. And FUR is the initials to my name, and of course the acronym to my business as well. I'm started a digital marketing service, and it stands for Focus on Excellence, Real Results. And that's what I want to provide to my clients and my customers, is for them to focus on their craft, on their business, while I bring them marketing results. And that comes with all the amazing technology we have and tools we have, resources we have now. So that's my craft. I learn it, I'm mastering it, and I want to bring it to all of you. If you're starting a business, if you have a business already, if you're an entrepreneur or brand, I am here to help you. FURmarketing.com.
And the great thing about this is, so I just really need to give Francia a shout out here, because Francia is a really prime example of when you decide that you want to do something, that you just do it. So she does work. You work full-time as a real estate agent, right?
I'm a full-time real estate agent, and I'm a part-time customer service somewhere else.
Full-time real estate agent, part-time customer service. She started her own business, and she's also working on her master's degree, right?
Bachelor's and master's.
Bachelor's and then master's. Either way, you're back in school. And she just decided, I'm doing this for myself and I'm going to do it. And so the marketing business, she picked it up so rapidly. She's so good. She's so good at it that it seems like she's been doing it for years. And so if you have a business and you want to put up stuff for social media, seriously, like Francia, look Francia up and just have a consultation with her, because
Thank you.
I've I pride myself on the fact that I pick up on things pretty quickly, like technology. They always joke, like my kids are like, "Oh, Ma, please don't like do that," and it's like, why? Because I'm older, it doesn't mean I can't do it, and I pick it up surprisingly quickly. But I don't pick all of it up quickly, and I don't have the time to mess with some of it either. And to watch what Francia has been able to do for the very first one, she showed like the very first thing when she was fooling around with stuff, and then to where she is already is mind-blowing. And the fact that she really cares about what she does, she's passionate about it and passionate about helping people, which is a great entry into the topic that we're going to talk about today. But before we do, how about your coffee today? I know you're still hot, so it's iced coffee.
Iced coffee, and I love my Dunkin' Donuts. I have it in Q cup and K cups, and yes, hot and nice.
So and I have mine. I like my ice when I'm like outside and it's hot, and if I'm on the road, But most of the time I drink hot coffee, and I have Wicked Joe's coffee, which is this particular one's wicked strong, and I'm not a big fan of strong coffee, but it'll work for me. And so let's talk about let's set the intention for today, and then I want to do some shout outs to people. Actually, let's do some shout outs right now, and I'm going to type everybody, but because I'm going to wait till our guest gets on, because she could just get going and talk about her story and everything that she does, because Carmen is a fabulous speaker, and she's also a fabulous MC. Like that's how I see Carmen Nieves as MC, because that's the first time I ever met Carmen, and she was the MC of Osu Tu Corona the first year, and actually every year really. And so she's just so fantastic with her words and getting people worked up and inspired, and she's funny as hell too. So I'll be typing while Carmen is talking, giving our normal type outs to everybody. But so we need to say good morning to Luis Sanchez, and boy, Luis is right up and early this morning. Just check this out. So first, this is how he started off. So good morning, ladies. That was at 6:37 this morning. Then it was pickup lines, okay, at 7:40. And then if you were a fruit, you would be a fine apple. Very nice. 7:54. Okay, that's 7:55. Are you a speeding ticket? Because you have fine written all over you. So he is just wide awake this morning. And good morning to Connie Rodriguez. She said good morning. So the sisters in the house. And good morning to Alicia Marulanda. Good morning, everyone, she said. And Margie, both look different. So Louise is saying that Margie looks, yes, right? She really does. She changed the look. Good morning to
I call her my sister.
Bryan. That's right. Good morning, Tiffany Bryan. Good morning, Michelle Houston. Richardson Darius, good morning. This is a little different that I'm doing it today. Amanda Prieto, good morning. Liza's in the house. Good morning, Eliza. And Doc Hardy's in the house. Good morning, Doc. We got Nicole Young. Goodness gracious. Good morning, Nicole. And Nan is on. Good morning, our beautiful friend Nan. And Kimberly Sanchez is also here. So we got the Sanchez's in the house. So this is absolutely fabulous. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And I will, like I said, I will do typing to everybody's name. We love having everybody's up there. And don't forget that when you do come on, please make sure that you say good morning so that we know you're here, because sometimes we don't always see you. Okay. So let me set the intention and the mantra for today. So I'm taking the intention for Margie today. Margie, for those of you that came on late, Margie is on her way to Texas. She will be on the Tuesday morning show for our 100th episode with professional comedian Sandra Valls, but she will be broadcasting from Texas. And the irony is that's also where Sandra is. Or Sandra. So that will be, it'd be interesting if they can get together. We just don't know exactly. I can't remember where Sandra's from in Texas. I think she's, I want to say Amarillo, but I could be wrong, and I probably am. And I don't think she might not be where Margie is. But anyway, so for the intention for today, and again, just a reminder, the reason that we set intentions, we set intentions so that you can set an intention for your day. How would you like your day to go? And if you believe in the power of yourself, you will understand that whatever intention you set for the day can happen, right? So I'm going to keep it very simple today, because for some of you, if you're in the Northeast, it's raining and it might be seemingly miserable out there today, but water brings life. So let's look at it that way. But it doesn't matter, even if rain kind of brings you down or cloudiness kind of brings you down. The intention that we will set for the show today is that today will be amazing. Today will be amazing. That's the intention for today. And the cool thing is that shouting out to my friend Liza Tuck, that Liza always likes to say that, when you start your day with however way you want to start it. You create your intention. And even if your day does not go the way you had wanted it to, or for the intention that you set, you can always click restart. You can always restart. And one of the best ways to restart is to go within, be grateful, and then enlist your energy, or reset your energy, because that's usually what shifts us. As things shift, as shit hits the fan, we shift, and then we say our day turned into shit, day turned into bad, but it is our intention, and it's what we decide we want to do with it. And with that being said, the mantra for today is, I am what I believe myself to be. I am what I believe myself to be. Okay. All right, mi gentes. I'm gonna have to play a little bit of Gladiator Guru. So, but I can't, still very gringa, whatever, or gringa. How's that?
Well, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. That's what I'm here for.
Good. That's fabulous. So okay. Today's topic is this was something that Gladiator Guru, what she came up with, and she was actually having a conversation with Carmen because of who Carmen is. Carmen Nieves, our guest, we're going to bring her on in a moment. She represents so many people out there, which by definition we consider angels on earth. So the title of today's conversation is, do your feet hurt? Are you an angel not used to walking? So we've heard and even used the expression angels on earth. So let's talk about real angels on earth. Are you one of them? Do your feet hurt from not using your wings? Let's talk about these angels among us, what they have done for us. And if you are one, let's celebrate your beautiful spirit, because angels don't often give themselves enough credit, and they need to be celebrated as well. In fact, the ones that aren't angels are the ones that often give themselves the credit for doing the things that they do. So that kind of distinguishes it. We'll give you a hint. It's just about all of us are angels on earth, is as long as you have it within you. And we're going to talk about what you need to have within you. So we're going to bring Carmen Nieves on, and here she is. Welcome, Carmen.
Hello and good morning, everybody.
Welcome,
Beautiful
Carmen.
lady. I have to tell you, I didn't even realize that Margie wasn't going to be on. She sent me a message and she was like, I can't wait to watch the show this afternoon, because you guys are part of, you guys go on YouTube after, so people can follow you and watch the show if they missed it. So I'm like, wait a minute, am I supposed to be on at 8 or this afternoon? And I didn't realize that she was traveling. So Margie, wherever you are, we're sending you good vibes, spirit, and good travels. We know you're with Miss Lillian, who's making a lot of things happen. So thank you so much for having me on the show. Part of this conversation, just like you said, Lori, I hope it's not me that's getting the back echo. I apologize for that.
You know what? It can be, but here's the way we have to fix it. For some odd reason, it's been doing this. So whenever one person speaks, we'll just mute our microphones. So we'll do that.
Okay, perfect. So one of the things that when you talk about kind of how this subject kind of came up, it came up a long, long time ago. And we do that. But it's because Margie speaks in metaphors, right? So something happened, and it was because the sun was shining and God was beaming and, all kind of stuff. So for her, things that happen are very insightful. So I'll tell you the story and then we'll get into kind of, so Margie and I started working at an organization called Career Resources. And really and now I work for the workplace. And what we do is we help people get back to work faster. Right. So sometimes people that can't find a job right away have all these other barriers, transportation, childcare, things like that. We're not even going to talk about COVID yet. But I would tell Margie, My feet are always hurting. And one day she said to me, your feet hurt because angels don't walk, they fly. And then shortly after that, she gave me a picture. You know how they have your name and it tells you like what your name means with angels on it? And she gave it to me. I was trying to find it so I can show you guys. But that paper has to be like 20 years old because we've known each other about that. So really today is about metaphors. You know, some of the people that knew I was going to be on the show, I'm at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and some of the guys in my class were like, so you're going to talk about fetishes? I'm like, no, we're not talking about that. Although it might come up in conversation, but that's not where we're going here.
Wrong show. Margarita's not on.
How did they get fetishes out of Angel on Earth?
No, because they saw feet. Do your feet hurt?
Oh,
I'm like, okay, you're going way left, so let's just bring it back. But I do have to say,
I'm surprised Margie and I didn't catch that actually, you know, because with knowing the way we think too. So kudos to the Connecticut Broadcasting crew for coming up with that one.
So I'm like, wait a second. But I thank you for having me on. You know that I love you guys and support you guys, you know, and anything I can do. So fire away.
So again, you know, we have to remind everybody about this, right? So our 100th episode is coming up on Tuesday, and then the May 11th show we're celebrating 1 year, and it's all because of this woman. It is all because of Carmen Nieves. This is what happens with ideas, you know, and this is why it's important for you, the tribe out there, when you have an idea, when you think that you really believe that something's great, say it. But you also want to make sure that you share those ideas with people that support your ideas. And I'll tell you, if you're a strong person, if you find something that it doesn't, you will always find somebody that will. It's just for those people that are not quite sure of themselves and they want to share an idea, and then they get knocked down by, oh, that's a stupid idea. Then they hold it back. Don't hold back your ideas. And Carmen,
and I want to share, Lori, to try.
Oh no, she's freezing.
Am I there?
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I want to quickly cut you off because I'm on because they asked me to come on to fill for Margarita. When I knew you were here, Carmen, I'm like, because I haven't gotten a chance to thank you personally. She was one of the people that reached out to me when she saw that I was trying to get my marketing business going. And she actually called me. I said it was a 30-minute call, but it turned to be 3 hours.
It was 2 hours. Yeah.
Yes, 2 hours. And she gave me all the inspiration, all the motivation. I love you, Carmen, for that. Thank you so much.
And that proof positive why Carmen is the guest today for this particular show, because Carmen, that is what Carmen does for a living. Carmen, I think you should, I think your title should be Chief Inspiration Officer, CIO, Chief Inspiration Officer, because Carmen is a visionary, and she likes to, she sees potential in people, and that takes quite a lot of vision. That takes insight, but it also takes a tremendous amount of heart and compassion, because most of the time, and people mean well, they really do, but most of the time people say, oh, you know what you should do? Like they'll shit on you and they'll say, you know what you should do? And it's based on what they believe is the best thing because of their beliefs. But Carmen has the ability to look at the individual in front of her and then use her knowledge and her experiences and to pull it all together. And she can make recommendations, but either way, it's sort of this flow, this little trip that you go on, that you're guided by what she's putting into your ear, but then she's also giving you the space to put your own thoughts in. And then you come up with this phenomenal idea. And that is an angel on earth. That is a true individual who it's, inspiration is you show the people what you do and you inspire them to be a better version of themselves. And Carmen's got a ridiculous amount of people that could step up here today and sit there and say, she made me believe in myself, and she made me a better person because she made me believe in who I was. And not only is she a compassionate individual like that. See, you said she sent the message to me this morning. She goes, "Oh, let's roast Margie." But I think it's like the Carmen roast, really, is what it is. She not only is she compassionate and such a wholehearted person, like sweet, but she's so freaking funny. Like that's the other thing. She is so quick-witted and
the pressure.
But so Carmen, talk about why you do what you do. Like, how long have you been doing, you've been working in these industries that give back to people, service to others. So when did you start? And was there anything specific that prompted you to be this way? Or was it always like a calling within you?
So I have that, like, how much time do we have, right? Because that's a long story.
Keep going, baby, whatever time you want.
So let me just back up for a second into something that you guys said earlier. So I don't know how many people like really truly know my story, but I was married, pregnant, and a dropout at 17. By 19, my relationship with, my ex-husband was not good. So I've always been in this self-sufficiency. So trying to figure out how I help myself, and really in helping yourself, you learn to champion for other people. So I can't tell. I think that this evolved. Like, you see me very like, I talk a lot. I give a lot of advice. If you'd have seen me a long time ago, you would not think it was the same person. So when you guys were talking today, you were talking about restart, reset, and reinvent. And I think if I were to pin anything down, it's probably that. And I just got to give a shout out to my daughter who gave me my cup. Let me back up for just a second. So when I gave you guys, and it wasn't even giving you guys the idea, right? Margie, anybody that has a conversation with Margie knows that she's really loud, she's very funny, and she doesn't stay still, right? So I'm on the phone with her, and she's in her kitchen making a cup of coffee. I exaggerate you not, this was a 20-minute preparation process while we're having this conversation. And I said to her, Margie, because she loves, she's an author, and she's, an artist, and she's like a justice of the peace and 20 other things. And I said to her, one of the things you do best, because this chick can start a conversation with anybody, like never met, and they're together 2 hours, just like me and Francia. So I said to her, you should do a show or something, and just, because coffee for her is a big thing. It's like this big thing. It's very meaningful. It means something, that kind of thing. So I said, you guys should do a show. And she said, I know exactly the person to do it with. And that same night, she called you, Lori. And look at 100 episodes, right? So one, you give people inspiration, but like you said, people have to run with it. I tell people all the time, be patient with listening to people's advice, and then take what you want from that, because everything they tell you, you don't have to do. So
That's
since
right.
your show, I have more coffee cups with inspirational sayings than I ever had before. So I have to give a shout out to my daughter who gave me this cup. I don't know if you can see it. Wait. It says, I got it from my mama. Can you see it? So, and since then, I've got other ones. Like, it says like hustle juice. Yeah. And I got this from my favorite child or whatever, and I have to really think about, like, where did I learn service? And I have to say it has to be my mom. My mom, even though she had limited English at the time, my mom was like a hustler. Right now in the senior building that she lives in, she's like making pizzas, giving people rides. Now, mind you, she could barely see, and she's giving people rides and filling out papers. So I think deep down, you get that information from somebody that the right thing to do is to help others. And then it just becomes naturally in helping yourself to help others. So, I want to give a shout out, and I want to give a shout out to International Delights. Like, that's my, like, go all coffee. Around Christmas time, I couldn't even find it. My girls will tell you I had an all points bulletin out trying to get this creamer because they didn't have it, to the point where I wrote to the company. I was like, did you guys stop selling it? And they sent me a coupon, so I was able to get it for you. So whatever works. Shout out to them, and shout out to my girls.
That's
were
right.
buying them in 3 and 4s to make sure that I had them. So as far
Well,
as
we all know what to
it,
get you if we ever want to get you gifts. That's we know.
listen, I don't remember who I was talking to. They're like, I can't give you that because if I leave it on your porch, I don't know how long it's going to take you to get it. So I think that at the end of the day, there isn't anybody that doesn't have a good intention of helping somebody else, right? And it's very intentional that we go from self to family to community, right? Because once we start helping our families, whether it's in education or helping them find a job, news gets around fast, right? So then people are like, well, how did you do it? Help me do it. You know, and when you believe in people, and I believe in girl power, let me tell you, I love, like, up until recently, I ran a youth construction program. And I would get so excited when there were girls in that class because I'm like, hell yeah. I love that. I love things that are not traditional. My daughter Victoria is getting ready to have a little girl. And like we're talking about names like Ryder and Charlie. And I'm like, I love that because it's not traditional. Like unless you know her, you don't know whether she's female or male. So I think it just starts with just being true to yourself and wanting to help. And then I just get asked, I don't intentionally be like, you know what, this is what you should do. People come to me for like advice, or we start having a conversation over coffee or whatever it is. And we just start having a real conversation about what we could do. I see some of the women that are part of a group called Untapped Potential that I belong to, that I have a coach, and I see some of the women that are part of that group are on today's chat. So thank you guys to you. So yeah, so that's how it starts. I mean, it goes way back to really wanting to help yourself. And then in turn, you go and help somebody else. And I was actually able to create a program through the Parent Leadership Training Institute that did just that. Like, where are the resources? And it's gradual, and it's been about 30 years, like kind of like in the making, because I started just really helping yourself, and then you just evolve into things, and people create opportunity for you to help out. And a lot of employers don't know, or don't understand that you can inspire your staff to be creative, to be thoughtful, to be innovative, to be helpful. But you have to invest in those people as well. And let me tell you, I only do things that make me feel good, and to help people makes me feel good. To help women makes me feel good. So that's a long-winded answer, but there you go.
But and again, it's coming back to coming from a place of compassion. I think for so many years, I think we've run businesses where this is business, and then this is our life, like our personal life, business life, and we separated it. Like you would hear the terms like, "Oh, it's just business. It's just business." What does that mean? So you're fucking me over, and it's just business. It's because people want to take the the connection out, the emotion out, so it makes them feel better when they have to let a person go, or they have to lower their pay, or whatever the reason being. But we've also seen this tremendous, as a result, we've seen a very big disconnect. And I think that where we are in the world today is that we are so ridiculously disconnected because of separating all these pieces, when in reality, we are all human, and we all need each other. We are social creatures who have to work together. That's the only reason we've been around for these thousands and thousands of years, is because we have worked together as a community to create. And then when we pull apart, that's when things happen. And so the more people that step up and do what you do, or do what Francia does, or do what I do, or do what Gladiator Guru does, that step up and say, I'm coming from here, and I'm going to help you. And then in turn, you're going to help somebody else, because that's the only way big change happens. Change happens with us. And then we make a decision who we want to be. So like you said, Carmen, it has to come from within. So you ask yourself, who do I want to be? Who am I representing today? Who am I? And if I say I'm a kind and compassionate person, does that mean that you get stepped on and worked on? No, it just means that I'm kind and compassionate. I believe in people. I believe in the human spirit. I believe in the potential of people. And this is what I'm going to offer my skills to them. I'm going to offer my insight to them. But I also have boundaries, and there are people that will take things and do bad things with information. But I like to always ask for the ability to see that, and not judge it, but just know when to pull back and offer myself to people that really need it. And angels on earth are individuals that seem to know when you need them. That's the other thing too. It's like they appear, like literally Carmen's idea appeared. Like it was a conversation that appeared at a time when everything was like starting to go into chaos and people were getting panicked and people were shifting. And the interesting thing is, Margie and I talk about this all the time, that we don't make money off the show. I mean, this show takes time, planning, posting, recording. That takes time. We do it for the passion and the purpose. It reminds us of our passion and purpose to help others, to lift other people up. And where that takes us in our own businesses, are we going to say, oh, well, if people throw business at us as a result of the show, we're going to say, oh, no, hell no, that'd be bad business sense. But what we're saying is that the reason we get up and do what we do is because we are passionate and purposeful about creating a better world, for ourselves, for everyone out there, for our kids, our grandkids. So, Carmen, what's been the hardest thing about, I know most people who are angels on earth don't believe themselves to be angels. But there are enough people out there that would argue with you. Anybody that's watching this, whether they're live right now that knows Carmen or whether they are watching later, I want you to put in the comments of how much of an angel Carmen has been in your life. Okay. For those of you that are watching, because just to show you, because people, like I said, angels on earth don't realize that they are angels. But that being said, what challenges have you had with doing what you do, living your passion and your purpose? What challenges have you had with doing that and taking care of yourself and then balancing your life, the infamous life balance?
You're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry. So first, I want to give my girls a shout out, my daughters, who some of them are on there, and they're fighting right now over who's my favorite. They're all my favorite. I feel so fortunate. I think that one of the challenges that I've learned over time is I'm really being intentional since COVID about making my family first. I don't get it right every day, because I'm still crabby, or I don't want to do things, or my husband thinks I'm yelling at him when I'm not. I'm just have a very husky Puerto Rican voice, So any of that, I think that one of the challenges has always been, I wish that I had realized earlier that the people that count the most is your family. And while I'm out saving the world, who's saving them? I hope I don't cry. I am so grateful. My husband, I have a photography business, and my husband, whenever I would have a gig without paying, or just, you love me, so you got to help me, and would be the one to like load up the car with like all this really heavy equipment. And whatever time I would get home at night to unload it, my daughter Stephanie would be like, we have this photo shoot, and I'm like, we're going to be there 2 hours. We're there like 5 hours because I don't know how to leave, right? So you talk to people, and then, you want to be patient with all the people. I think that if there's any challenge that I wish I had done better, was be there more for my family, because at the end of the day, that's who remains. And I think, Francia, you're not saying a lot, so you better say so, because I watch you on Facebook, and you can tell how much she loves her boys. And if you follow her, please, because her pictures, first of all, you're freaking gorgeous, so I don't like you, but I do love you. You know what I'm saying? Like curvy. I'm like, listen, you don't even want to know what I look like if I get up right now, okay? Because I look real good from the top. Okay. I have pearls next to my desk at any point that I can like whatever. But you could tell like she looks very professional, freaking gorgeous, photos with her boys, you know, and she, since I known you, Francia, that's how you've been. Like really, really important about family. So I'm gonna throw that question back at you guys, like in the stuff that you're doing, because I know, Lori, you got a little one at your house. You know, Francia, your boys are not. You got three little ones. So I'll throw that
Yeah.
question back at you. Like,
Not
what?
little. They're not little. One little one. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
So
Isn't
one
she
thing
like 8?
I have a 27-year-old, a 17, and a 7. All girls.
Mine's are 25, 23, and 14.
Yeah.
And back to the whole conversation and the angels and giving and what does that mean to me and what I do. I've always been a caterer, like a giving person, a nurturer. And
That's how I
got
met you.
made a mother at 15. So I have been a mother for, most of my life. So that's all I know and that's all I care for. And again, we can get into my upbringing, but even though my parents were dysfunctional, they
Everybody
were loving
does,
in their own
practically.
way. They were loving and they gave us a lot of, love. And we had big families. And so yes, family is big to me. And to me, that's what brings who I am today. And that's what I bring to my business and my passion is building those relationships from the root. You're not just my customer. You're not just a client. You are a person. You're a human, and you deserve attention and detail and care. So I applied that to my catering business, and they love me. And I was also starting out when I first was starting out, but they loved me, and then my food came after. Same thing with my real estate. It's building relationships. People are not just going to give you their house to sell if they don't know you from a can of paint. Yeah, you have a reputation and things like that. It helps, but I go for relationships. And with marketing, it's the same thing. My number one supporters are my tribe and my friends and family. So I start from there, and then I give that to the world, and it comes back to me.
I got to call Carmen out on something. So when you had said about that, I can't remember exactly how you said it, but you said about how you were so busy when you were younger that you felt like you didn't give something to the kids, like you weren't there for the kids. And I guarantee you that your daughters would say, right? It's all daughters, right? You have all daughters. Yeah. I guarantee that your daughters would disagree with you, because what you showed them how to be an amazing woman. You still made time for them. So we do that as women. We guilt ourselves. We say, oh, well, I had to trade this off and trade this off. This is one thing I will definitely say, is that men cannot do what women do. We are mothers. We are entrepreneurs, or we are career women. We are students. We do it all. And we still could balance it. We might not balance it exactly the way we want to, but what you set was a tone for your daughters to show them, like, this is who you could be. And, I could sit there and look at that myself. I have 3, my kids are all 10 years apart. I was a very different person with each of them because of my transformation. I was pretty decent with my oldest one. My middle one caught the worst part of me. She was when I was completely disconnected and hit my rock bottom. And then my youngest one only knows me as the person that I was always meant to be. And I see it in them. And there's moments where I feel very guilty about the fact that I wasn't my best self, especially for the middle one, but I can't go back. All I can do is say, own up to that. And then, and it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible how I was. It wasn't like I was abusive or anything. It was just, I wasn't mentally and emotionally always there for her. But I was for a lot of years. So it wasn't like ever, but there's still something that we give to those that are around us. And you're right. Family is everything. My thing is, I always look at it and say, what am I showing my daughters? Like my choices and the things, not so much even what I say, but it is partially because the 7-year-old has ears. She could be in the other room and like I'll say something and then all of a sudden she'll ask me about it. I'm like, how the hell did you hear that? Like, you're not even supposed to be listening. Mind you, it wasn't even, you're not even in the conversation. But it's also what we do, like what it should. Like my mom worked all the time. I was a latchkey kid. Like I was one of those kids that you heard about back in the day. Like all the younger people have no idea what the hell a latchkey kid was. But I had a piece of yarn that had the front door key, right? You can't do this nowadays. I was 8 years old. I would get off the bus and I would open the door to my empty house, and my friend, the neighbor would come, who was a high schooler, and she would meet me in the house and she would sit with me for, until somebody got home, like my dad got home from work. So my mom worked all the time and she was retail. And if I wanted to see her during the holidays, we had to go to the store. So I could look at that and say, oh, my mom was never there for me, blah, blah, blah. What I saw was a kick-ass woman who wanted to work and was a manager and with no college education, and stepped up and worked hard and was really well respected. Everybody loved her because she was really good at what she did. So that's what I got, and that's how I became as a career woman, as a businesswoman.
And for me, it was the opposite. My mom was a homemaker. She stayed at home mom. And I watched my mom literally be the opposite of that, just weak. And she, if you're a homemaker, then take care of home and take care of your kids and take care of yourself first, right? To take care of your husband. And she didn't. Unfortunately, my dad, was abusive to her and ran out in the streets, and then, we can get into that, but it was the total opposite. And she didn't care. And it was 3 girls at home, and we did not, we would shower when we want to, we would, go to school if we wanted to, no school activities that we wanted to go to because she wouldn't take us. And she let go of herself so much that it was sad. And those things we questioned. So Carmen, like Lori said, your kids are going to love you more and respect you more for the things that you do, the things that you do for them, because it's for them. You're doing it for you, but that's what you had at the time, and you were a young mother as well. So I took that and I ran with it. I do not want to be that. I do not. And I picked up a lot of, little mistakes in here and there. And I still do. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like my mother. No. So but I was like, I do not. And when she passed, it was one of the questions my older sister asked her, it was, why? Why did you do that? Why did you chose my dad over yourself, over your kids, over your home? So it was, definitely the total opposite. So I give you both ladies. And
I wish I could tell you that I did this by myself. And my girls, I know that they will lay into me if I didn't talk about my husband. There, some I will tell you, I was probably born the wrong sex or something, because I'm like to take charge. I like to work. I like to have money. I like to have my own thing.
You're a badass woman.
And my husband, let me tell you, I am so fortunate to have, I know that he's not the only one in the world, but he's the only one in my world. And I will tell you that this man supports girl power to the point that you don't even see him. I got an award once, and they were in the audience, and I was like, listen, my husband is here. I have to give him a shout out because people didn't believe he existed because they never saw him, and that's the God's honest truth. And he'll tell you that. But I will tell you that he is somebody that when I tell you family first, it's family first for him. Like, he won't eat until everybody else eats. Like he'll cook and, and I would tell stories of like, listen, while I was out hustling and making money, my house would be messy and my kids would be up. He gets up, I come back from work, the kids are still sitting on the couch and the house is spotless. And he recorded the soap operas and he cooked. Okay. So when you talk about being spoiled, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do. None of us, I don't care who it is, without some level of support of somebody that's got your back, that says, listen, I'll bring you dinner, or just let me have a conversation because I don't think I can take this I can't deal with this. And my husband and I together, 32, we're going to be 33 years this year together. And I can tell you, it didn't start out that way, but you come up with kind of how you're going to work. My oldest daughter, who's now 35, was 16 when I went to college. When I started college, she was 16. And then you can't get it done fast enough because you're like, if I'd have just focused one class over those 16 years, I probably would have had a PhD right now and I would really be running things, right? And it's about understanding that when something's right for you, it's right for you. And sometimes, I wish Margie was here because she would tell you that if something's going to be for you, it's going to be for you. And sometimes we just have to embrace that, because sometimes the things that are happening, we question. I've been questioning for like the last year, and going back to school for me was about reinventing myself and how do I help other people find their voice. I don't have to be the limelight of anything, but I'm often asked to. I do everything with a sincere heart. Like, I'm not trying to, and people get it. I tell people all the time, listen, I know I'm an acquired taste. I know, right? I'm loud. I'm Puerto Rican, soy gordita. I walk real slow.
Those are your powers. Hello.
That's right.
And so when we were talking about doing the show, I'm like, first your feet hurting was a metaphor. Now my feet hurt for real. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And it's like help. And people use, very often, because my feet would be hurting, and I would tell my husband, oh my God, my dogs are barking. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, my feet are killing me. And the shoes, and I will tell you that since COVID, like today I'm dressed up, I have to go into the office. But I will tell you, I have not worn heels in like a year.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the shenanigans that are going to come from that when I have to put them on and wear a dress.
There's a TikTok for that. There's a TikTok video for that. Like a woman
I might have to get bigger shoes,
busting, just falling all over the place.
Listen, and so I've gotten this philosophy, and I got it from my friend Eileen, that she said, comfort over vanity. She would tell me that all the time. We're in jobs that we're always moving around and standing up and meeting people and going places. She goes, I just can't do it. For me, it's comfort over vanity. You can look cute and have a good, comfortable pair of shoes. I'm like, yeah, but if I do, I'm like 4'11" and a half. And every time they ask me how tall I am, I say I'm 4'11" and a half because I need my half an inch. Okay, I need that. And if I wear low shoes, I feel very short. And there's something about when I feel short that I feel like I'm not my best self.
I get you.
So I can't even explain it. And even sometimes you might be doing, like, I'll be taking a shower and be like, damn, I feel like really, really short today. Like, what's going on? And then I have to figure out, how do I make myself tall?
Yeah, listen, Ileana says, I was just going to say this too. So Ileana says platform shoes. And
I'll
you
definitely
don't like
be dead then.
No, platform are the even. They make you even instead of a spike.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like those?
And the boots, the booties. I love the booties with the heel because they're so comfortable. I'm giving up the heels too. And
I've seen people say, one of the ways that you make sure that your feet don't hurt is not to wear the same shoes every day. And I'm like, but what happens if you like that one pair? Like, I'll wear them out until they're like sideways.
Yeah, me too. Oh my God. I got one pair.
And I'm like, how do I fix it? I got to fix it. Where do I go to fix it? I mean, there's just so many things. And I know that we're talking about in metaphors, but when we talk about feet and angels, I will tell you there's so many, like you said, Lori, that nobody's taking credit.
So wait, hold on. You mentioned one. So an angel can have an angel. Your husband's an angel.
Yes.
So you are, and what he did was he allowed you to spread your wings and fly and help so many other people. And that is the beauty of paying forward support. and it's not something that I think that we have to ask for. It should be, and I hate shoulding, but reality is it should be understood to a certain level. And the reason he understood that is because that's what you put out. You put out that energy and he got it. Francia and I both have been in relationships where they didn't get it, and so, and
I have to.
and so, right. Oh, that's right. In the beginning. And I have to look back and say, that's because that's what I put out. Like I have to take ownership for that. When we are not clear of who we are and where we're coming from, we will attract towards us the people that are not good for us. And if you are an individual who is a beautiful, loving spirit and you want to push that forward, don't be afraid to do it. Like if you've been burned a few times and you're like, oh, I'm always helping people and I always get screwed. Let that go. Be grateful to who you've helped, the people that, even if they did screw you, you know what? Be grateful to who you are. Don't let that change who you are. But now just be more eyes wide open, put the boundaries up to know these are the people that I want to attract in my life. I want to help people, because I've heard that numerous times. I've helped people and then somebody will remind me, oh, did you see so you helped that person and they did this and that and they said this about you. And I'm like, I can't control people. I mean, I help people all the time.
It hurts though. It hurts though sometimes. I'm not gonna lie about that. Because people can misconstrue your intentions. I never try to tell anybody what to do. I'm gonna give you choices and look at this and look at that. I will tell you that probably my daughter Stephanie and I have had the deepest conversations because, we were working in the same space, right? And then it would be funny because we would be working in the same space and we wouldn't talk at all, and we were in the same space. And when you have that with all my girls, I will tell you that we're very intentional about girl time. Like every so often we'll like go out to dinner or go out to a movie or just hang out. And this is true because I did like a blog for community leadership program that I was part of. And I said the same energy that I would put into a group of strangers, I've got to put that same level into my family. Yeah. So we would have like where my girls and their kids would come over and we would do crafts and activities and things like that. Like if I was really hosting an event, and I have to tell you, that felt so good. And my husband loves that. He loves his family getting together, right? And his family's from Stanford, and it's him right now because his brother's in Florida. But it's him and his sisters and myself and my girls. And let me tell you, he gets so charged up by, people doing well, by us all getting together. He totally loves, doesn't have an issue with, and I will tell you, he's not typical. I know that I'm blessed. And when you get blessings like that, then you have a debt to pay. You know what I mean? I can't say that that's for everybody, but you get what you give out.
But Carmen, don't call it a debt. Debt sounds like, you owe, like, because we gave you this, you owe. You give to people. It's a mutual thing. It's like you are receiving that. And that's another problem. I got to say, that's one thing that I definitely wanted to mention today, is that a lot of times angels on earth are not great at receiving. And you deserve to have him, because he allows you to do what you need to do for other people. That's what I just said before. So there's no debt there. There's nothing owed. And
it's how you interpret it. And I will say this, right? I was married, pregnant, and a dropout at 17. Let me tell you, my life could have been very different.
Of course.
Very, very different. My father had multiple personality disorder. He was abusive. He did a lot of drugs and things like that. Listen, I am very clear that my life could have been very different. And when I say pay debt, my brother committed suicide in the house that I live in, where my office is, because of mental health issues. So I live, and some people will fault you, right? So I'm somebody that will hang on to you until I can't anymore. So I don't give up on people. My students will tell you, like, we may have not gotten along in class because people don't like authority. Listen, when I'm here, I'm in charge. This is how we rolling. So I would see them like 2 years after, and it would be, I would hug them and everything. And then they're like, but miss, it's like, but miss nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have had students that have gotten killed, that have gotten beat. I now with Zoom, you can see people's lives. Like when they're doing a class, when I'm doing a class, I see where they're living. They're getting yelled at. They're getting stuff thrown at them. One of the students was in like he was living in an enclosed porch that had no sheetrock or nothing. And I can't see that and not want to do something about it. That's what I mean by that, right? So I'm just saying that because of my brother and because of my own personal experiences, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. Like if this continues, this is what's going to happen. At the end of the day, you have a choice, but you have a choice. You know what I mean? So when I talk about like the paying debt, is that I don't want somebody else to die under my watch.
Right.
I don't want another pregnant girl to suffer under my watch. You know, I will tell you, my mother, I love my mother, and we haven't had the best relationship ever. And when my relationship didn't work out, once you think you've grown, right? Once you think you've grown, that I went back to my mother's house and I'm like, you know, I thought I was an adult, right? I'm an adult and I get to set my own rules. And my mother was like, no, you don't in my house. She gave me money and asked me to leave. And since then, my girls will tell you I have not been back. I have not been back. And selfishly, like when my husband and I first got together, I was like, listen, everything I have in my house is mine. So if you want to jet, you jet in with what you came with, not with what I've helped to build. And I've never had to really do that. But at the beginning, that was the mindset that says,
Sure.
I'm not going back there. And under my watch, my brother, who's in Florida now, he had a best friend. And that best friend was found dead due to drug abuse. And he was young. He was like, I don't think he was 20 when he passed away. But them two got me and his sister together because I had an apartment and she didn't. And she had a little boy and I had a little girl. And to her, my brother was her angel. You know what I mean? Because he's the one that connected us for me to help somebody. And I've helped people all along the way. So that's what I mean when I say that intentionally you're saying no one who I love or who's in my circle should have to go through that if I can avoid it, if I have.
So let's just show what an angel you are. So like, there's a couple of things that I want to put up here. So this is from Ileana. I met Carmen a few months ago and ever since we crossed paths, she has been an amazing connector and wonderful woman creating space to talk about women's issues and empower each other. What else do we have? Faith Bailey, it was nice to go to school with Carmen and sharing our time at HCC together and supporting each other with all our clubs and activities and work with empowerment through beauty organization. All right. And so you have to be reminded of these things, you know, sometimes. So this is Stephanie. Me and my sisters are the women we are because of our mother. Mom, you have always been our rock and made us the badass women we are. Carmen A. Nieves. All right. So this is, it is important. And, you know, that's one thing it is. And Stephanie put up an extra thing. I love you, mommy. And they were arguing back and forth of who is the favorite. So, you know, it's definitely a competition out there, but
my girls, I'm telling you, this is like all the time.
I love it. I think it's fabulous. So, you know, it's just understand something that I know we're heading out of time. We're going to be ending in a moment, but the whole point of today's conversation, angels on earth. And if you are an angel, we are blessed to have you. All three of us work to better everyone's lives. And just like Carmen loves that word intention, and it's correct because you have to be intentional. You have to be purposeful. And if you are one of those individuals who wants to provide service to others and be out there, you could help one person. There was an expression that I've always remembered. I'm not good at quotes, but there's this one quote that it's always resonated with me and stuck with me. And it's arguable who said it because there's like 4 different people that are said to have said this quote. but it says, to the world, you are one person, but to one person, you are the world. And if it starts with you just help one person, then it's one person, but you don't know what that one person is going to do. And so that's the whole point. And, you know, and if you are that angel and your feet are hurting, get somebody to massage your feet. I mean, you know, come on. It's
My
totally
husband
fine.
is not doing that. He already said no. He said no.
Well, that's okay. They have people that's massage therapists.
I won't say what they look like, but he said no. That's all I'm gonna say.
And angels come in all shapes and forms and times in your life. And again, I spoke about my mom, but she became one of my angels. Because of her, I was allowed to be a mother. She allowed me to be a mother. They let me stay at home, and they helped me raise my first two boys. So because of my parents, even though they became my angels, and I thank them and I'm grateful for them. And I am who I am because of them, no matter what. And you have those angels that come into your life at any time. And right now, same thing. My kids are my angels. They turn to me for help, and I turn to them for help. And my boyfriend now, is my angel now, and my tribe. Like, I believe that true friends are those angels. Fake friends, they drop, like flies, but your true friends, they stay with you and through thick and thin.
And a great way to, for those of you out there that are angels, a great way to aid your tired feet is to practice gratitude. And for those of you out there, to also thank the angels in your life. There's so many of them, and they come in, like Francia said, all shapes and sizes, and all different times of our lives they come in. So it's really important for you to acknowledge those people. Even if they're not around anymore, you can still speak to them in spirit, and it does make you feel better. So practicing gratitude is going to be huge. So thank you so much, Carmen, for being on as our guest. We love you, Carmen.
Love you, Carmen.
And
we miss you, Margie.
We
love you, Margie.
And Francia for being a beautiful, beautiful host. Thank you for co-hosting with me. And just a reminder, everybody, so Tuesday's show is the 100th episode. And we are going to have our very special guest, professional comedian, Sandra Valls. And we started putting up her videos up on the Facebook page. So please check her out. It's also on the LinkedIn page. Check her out because she is funny as hell, but she's also tremendously spiritual, and she fits perfectly into this show. So we are very excited to be able to speak with her. And so that's it, everyone. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and have a beautiful weekend. And I'm gonna do mine, but we're gonna do a dedication together. We're gonna say it together when we do Margie's. Okay. So from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary. And from the Gladiator Guru, we'll say it all together. Remember, breathe in the beauty, and ladies, breathe out the bullshit. All right. Namaste, everyone. Have a great weekend.